so it just made everything bigger. If you just squatted, your arms and your chest and everything, your shoulders would grow. Everything would grow at the same rate as your legs. Hey guys, this is Gavin from Health and Performance. Welcome to Training Tales from 1994, where we're making bro science before the bros even existed. So at some point in the early 90s, again, bearing in mind that we didn't have the internet, we basically had magazines. So at some point in the early 90s, I think an article, I think it was Muscle Media 2000, that was the sciencey ones that had graphs in it. And it came out like once a month, and you just kind of wait, and just like hang around at the news agent that's sort of about 4 weeks, is it coming out, is it coming out, is it coming out? And you just keep going in every day, sometimes twice a day, to be the first person to get it, to make sure no one else got it. Because there's only ever one copy brought in. So yeah, so there's some information in this bodybuilding magazine in some point in the beginning of the 90s about how squatting made you bigger because it increased testosterone levels. So it just made everything bigger. If you just squatted, your arms and your chest and everything, your shoulders would grow. Everything would grow at the same rate as your legs, supposedly. So the idea being that sometime some researcher, I think, found that doing big compound exercises, squats, deadlifts, etc., kind of raised your test levels. So that was it. As soon as because we bought all the magazines. Like, not everyone bought the magazines. There just weren't enough news agents in the small town I'm from to provide everybody with a copy. So if you got one, you took it straight in and just left it in the gym for a few days, so everyone could read it. It's just what you did, teamwork. So there's this article in Muscle Media 2000 about getting gains from squats, and of course, for like 6 weeks or so afterwards, whenever you went into the gym, it was the squat. You're training chest, you got to squat first. Training shoulders, you got to squat first. So everyone was just squatting their asses off for every single workout. So even if you're doing arms, you would do 3 sets of heavy squats first to raise your test levels, then train your arms, because then the test levels increase from the squats would make your arms bigger. Of course it didn't, because we now know, and I think we even knew back then, it was just misinterpreted and lacking context, that compound lifts and training hard generally can increase testosterone levels by about pretty much nothing for about half an hour. But don't worry about context. It's 1994. We don't really need to worry about context, because we were making up bro science back then before the bros were even born sometimes. But the funny thing is that it kind of worked, because I think Lyle McDonald recently put out a video about this, so have a look at that if you haven't. But yeah, the reasons he's saying, the reason it tended to work is exactly why it did work for us. Because I think at 16 I went from, not really squatting very much, in a matter of 6 to 10 weeks or something. I remember I was squatting at 16, I was squatting 4 plates a side for 6, which is pretty phenomenal at 16. Because that's what the other guys doing, who were maybe juiced, maybe weren't, but it didn't matter. I wanted to do like them, so I had to do what they did, which is actually a really awesome training environment. Which is kind of funny, because 2020, we now go, training environment is a huge driver of success in the gym. And we knew it back then, except we didn't actually know it. We just copied each other. So anyway, squatting for every workout did make us jacked, because we'd squat heavy, squat hard, and we just then try and train heavy, train hard, whatever other body part it was, because if we trained harder, then we'd get even more growth from the testosterone. So of course it wasn't testosterone, it's just because we all trained a lot heavier, a lot harder, put more effort in, we all got bigger and stronger. So, but yeah, interesting sort of thinking about that, and seeing a lot of the evidence-based stuff coming out now around training and the training process, which is absolutely fantastic and is always useful. But it's kind of interesting as I think back to when I first started this whole thing, training the gym, lifting weights in '94, and a lot of stuff we did back then worked. We didn't know how, we didn't know why. 2020, now we know how and why, but we just made observations, as simple as that. This is why we did sets of 8, 10 or 12, because if you keep training in the roughly 6 to 20 rep range, you're going to build a lot of muscle, you're going to make a lot of improvements. probably in the shortest amount of time, because yes, you can build or drive hypertrophy with sets of 3 or sets of 30 with really heavy or really light weights, but in terms of sake of ease, time efficiency and everything else, that 6 to 20 rep range is sort of the sweet spot. And of course that's what we did back then. We did sets of 8, 10, 12, 15, always preceded by heavy sets of squats, because then that would kind of drive the desire to train everything else as hard as we could. So yeah, so it's, and even nowadays, like, everyone can actually use this. You don't necessarily need to know how and why everything works. Yeah, it's probably good if you do, and you should probably find out. But the key thing is that we did back then is we just observed. We did this. Did it make us bigger and stronger? No? Okay, we won't do it anymore. We'll do this instead. Hey, that worked. So just through making observations. So we knew what worked, just wasn't how or why. And that's why everyone still got results in 1994.